Well, you certainly wouldn't know it to see it. Especially that right there. Holy crap, what a mess. But I have been slowly whittling away and kind of trying to organize the disaster of things that are in here. And I've got a lot of things that have been sitting in here for a very long time that I've either teased on the channel or have been shown in previous videos, and people want to, they want to see them. But I've definitely got to get a lot of these long-standing projects that are sitting in here dealt with, which includes this. The story behind this, I wasn't originally going to actually make a video about it, so I put this at least part of the way together, set it aside because I wanted to take care of some other things, and that was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 months ago, and it's just kind of been sitting in here right over, actually it was sitting over here, right beside this thing, which I'm going to need to make a video of at some point, because that's a very interesting little computer. I'm sure somebody's creaming their jeans over it right about now. A little bit of a sneak peek. Anyway, it was sitting there, and it's been sitting there for a while. I actually was using it as a convenient stand for storing parts, but I gotta put an end to that because, like I said, I really gotta start clearing this up. Because, I mean, it's kind of a disaster. It's not really nearly as bad as it looks, but it's not that good either, so I'm going to start taking care of these, and some of these laptops that I've got sitting around that I've purchased and then intended to use for projects. There's one sitting there. There's one stack of them sitting there. How many are there? I think there's 4 laptops in that pile. Jesus. So, that monitor's broken, but I gotta get that one figured out, this one figured out, got that HP sitting right there. I've got all kinds of things going on, and now my video has been hijacked by myself, so let's try and get this back on track. The idea was that I had taken my 2 capture PCs over to the other place. That was one of the first things, in fact, I think I did. That was back in May or June or something similar. And this was going to just be used as a temporary system to sit over here in the process of the move, which still has not concluded. And, in fact, I've actually bought both of the capture PCs back over here. The one down there, which you probably can't really see too much of, but that's definitely one of the capture PCs there, I'm actually going to be using for a different project, and that one's over here so I can use it to get this one up and running. So what this is a nothing special Gigabyte motherboard, GA-EP45DS3L. That blue fan, man, it's really kind of throwing off the camera. I think it's got a Core 2 Duo E8400 on it, but I don't remember. And I'm not sure that this motherboard will actually tell me. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, like I said, I don't think the board will tell me here. Sometimes they will, but yeah, I don't think this one... Yeah, I don't think this one does. I'll put it back to the health status where it was. But, I think it's an E8400. I don't think it's a Core 2 quad. I probably could put a quad core in here, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. This is a replacement heatsink. In fact, it's got a replacement fan on the replacement heatsink. It's got 4 gigs of RAM. This is going to be 32-bit, so 4 gigs of RAM. More than 4 gigs is pretty much worthless, so it's just got 4 in it for better compatibility. It's got a random optical drive that I think actually has problems. Part of it might just be that it's out in the cold. Yeah. You gotta use the press and bang tactic in order to get that open. Not really particularly useful for a capture PC, but I'm going to leave it in there anyway. Because I have in the past done some DVD conversions, so it might actually be useful for that. That is a SanDisk X110 250GB SSD. And then this is a random 750 gigabyte Western Digital Caviar Black hard drive. Or, I'm sorry, it's actually a Scorpio Black hard drive. I don't know what the health status of it is. I'm going to certainly check. But if it doesn't work, I've got more 750s. The alternative, too, is I can probably put a 1 terabyte drive in this. I've certainly got a bunch of those laying around. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. But first things first, I'm going to shut this off. And I'm going to pull that SSD out, throw it into that, boot that up, and clone the SSD that's in that machine onto that. So then at the very least, I'm still not ready to actually put this into any kind of service. But at the very least, I can get this all configured, get it buttoned up so that the door isn't open anymore. Because, as you can see, the cover's not off anymore. I'm going to have to probably go at this with the air compressor at some point, because now it's full of detritus from just being out in the open. You can see how speckled it is. It wasn't originally like that. Okay. There is the other computer. This is actually my old stream encoder computer. At least it was using and doing that for a while. I think this motherboard is a little bit messed up, but I'm going to just leave it alone for now. It's got this tiny video card in it. I can probably get a better one, but for right now, this should be suitable. It's got 2 optical drives in it, probably because I took the slot cover out of one of these and used it for, use it in another case so I could use that as a server, but let's see if this thing even still works. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, it looks like a memory problem. And a very unhappy fan. Oh. That's a little bit more promising. Yeah, digital. Now it's working. What fan is making that noise? Yeah, it's the... Oh. Oh, I know what it is. It's the, video card fan. It's making all that noise. We're booting into Windows now. So that's good. I think the computer is functional. Wow, that video card fan is not happy. That's why I don't really like these cards, because they've got these dumb, stupid, tiny fans on them that don't tend to really work. It almost looks like that's locked up. I think it has. So this thing's definitely got some problems that I'm going to have to straighten out. Well, change of plan, because this thing has now gone from somewhat working but behaving erratically to completely not working at all. Now watch, now that it's on camera is when it'll actually function. But it sits there. All the fans are still running on high. Keyboard never reinitialized, and I get no video out of it. So, okay. If that's the game that it wants to play, then that's the game that it's going to lose. So, we're taking this drive out, and then this drive is going to go in here, and then this is going to become the primary machine. So, what happens to this, I don't know. But, I am not in much of a mood to deal with the crap, so I won't. Okay, it's in there now. Now, this might not start up, because the thought just occurred to me now. Now, this is a pretty dramatic chipset change. So, I guess we'll see. Windows 7 is not necessarily the most resilient thing in the world when it comes down to this stuff. So, this might just be a giant fool's errand. We want to start normally. See what happens. Do we get a blue screen? I don't see any disk activity, so that's not a good sign. Yeah, I see no disk activity. Well, it actually did work. None of the drivers are installed, but that's certainly promising. So let me go ahead and log in here. Okay. Yep, we've got some work to do. It's not 5:11 p.m. You must restart your computer. Are you sure? Why is that? There we go. Restart later. Here we go. It's going to find all of these devices. So, set network location. This is a public network. That's what we'll call it. Hopefully it'll install the video driver. So we'll let that do its thing, and then I'll come back and we'll see what we need to do further. Probably not much. Check this out. That front panel is all kinds of screwed up. No wonder the hard drive LED doesn't work. It's not even plugged in. Good news is that all our drivers are installed. And it looks like we are working 100% once again. So yeah, it's not 512 anymore. Not sure why it thinks so. I've got the font a little bit changed here because, let me see, no, we're on the right time zone, so internet time. It's probably not going to find that. So we'll try updating to time.windows.com. I'll change that back to that, but it's not going to work because it won't be able to access it. So now we're at the correct time. I can't believe it's 11:39 already. But of course DST was yesterday, so let's see here. Probably gonna have to reactivate. Yep, we're gonna have to reactivate. So I guess we'll give it a try, see what happens. See if it'll let me reactivate. Yeah. Okay. Now our WEI needs to be refreshed. Those are the scores from the old PC. Let's see what this one gets. Okay, there are our new scores on this. Compare and contrast with what it had before. I actually already forgot. I know it went down by a not insignificant margin, because this is quite a bit of an older platform. But, well, it is what it is, really. System itself seems to work, and that is all that really matters. Okay, I was pretty sure that I had made a video, or at least started to make a video about this project, but if I did, I can't find it. So, if I do find it, I'll tack this on to the end of it, and there'll probably be some duplication of information, but basically this is the basis of a capture PC project. You see, this is the first capture PC that I put together. The second one is sitting right there. That second one is going to be reused for another project, and just as a little bit of a sneak peek, it involves that. Because that's got the bigger CPU and basically the bigger platform on it. This died. And I don't know why it died. All I know is that it will not post any longer. It acts as if the memory is bad. And it doesn't matter what memory I put in there. So I think there's some broken solder joints on that somewhere. Wouldn't surprise me. Or some corrosion. Again, wouldn't surprise me. But this is the first ever one of these boards that I pulled out. One of these DQ67. Or wow, sorry, Q87M-E corporate stable model boards. So, I'm not terribly surprised. I'm just disappointed. But, that right there has got basically the same thing in it. And I'm going to go ahead and swap the two out. Build this back up. But this is the primary capture PC now. A little bit of a downgrade. Core 2 Duo E8400. 4 gigs of RAM because it's 32-bit operating system. Other specs in this. There's the old SSD. I have a 750 gig hard drive in there. I'm going to replace that one because that one's got some bad sectors. And a Radeon HD 7770 video card. That, I'm surprised. Is it a 7770? I don't actually remember. Let me see if I can get this cover off. It wanted to come off 2 seconds ago. Now, of course, when I want it off, it won't. Oh. I think it is. Yeah, I think it is a 7770. You can see it there. Blue fan. This deep cool heatsink that actually has a replacement Be Quiet fan on it. This is a Gigabyte EP. What is this? EP45 something or another. Motherboard. EP45-DS2L or DS3L. Pulled that off the side of the road. Nothing wrong with it. Kind of surprised it was thrown out, but yeah, that is where we are at. Like I said, I'm going to replace that second drive. I'm also going to install another capture card in this so that this will have 2 capture devices. Okay, you can see there that we've definitely got a problem. It's not terrible, but it's not the kind of thing that I'm going to use in an environment like this. So, see, we're also limited in speed here. It only has a say to 3 gigabit per second controller. So, I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to get the second capture card hooked up, and I'm also going to hook up another SSD, because I'm going to clone this and use the same install on whatever becomes of this. Just because it will save me some time of having to do some resetup of all this stuff. Here's a new capture card. I've had this for a while. It's one of these cheap things off of eBay. You see there's a little bit of English there. Not too bad, though. Doesn't have what it is marked off. Then you look at the back and, this does not have the FM as far as I know. Some of that doesn't look too bad. There should be a bullet point there, I think. You will never miss any excellent picture. And then it just gets kind of jumps the shark here. Humanity operating interface. You can pause the video if you want to read any of those things there. But, yeah, there's not much to this. In fact, there's the card itself. With a heatsink, I'm kind of surprised to see that. And there is an audio cable and a remote receiver. And there's the remote, manual, and the software. Which I don't know if I'll need it, because I believe that this is just a standard Philips TV tuner. Okay, new card is in place. You can't even really see it in there. Let's see if anything halts and catches fire when I hit the power switch. If I can find the power switch. Oh, not yet. Dynamic energy saver. Should have two SSDs and hard drive. See if this actually works. Yes. So, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to check it. And it's in good health. It looks like, so that's good. Very little use, I'm kind of surprised. So, we should be good with that. So what I'm going to do, it should be easy to figure out which one it is. It's always the biggest one there. So we select disk 1. And then we go clean. Now you got to be very careful with this and make sure that you have the right disk, because what this is going to do is it's going to erase everything. Partition table, partitions, everything. So if you get the wrong disk, you'll really have a little bit of a problem. But here we go. Now if we go to list disk again, you can see it's completely empty, which is good. That's what we want. Now, I can't install that capture card yet. I'm going to have to run this and do my clone first, which is what we're going to do. We're going to take this disk, we're going to select this disk, use the source geometry, always. Copy selected. Make this maximum size. It's a little bit bigger. Actually, we can probably hit finish on that, and we'll run it. And that should clone the 2 SSDs. Not out of the woods yet. My hard drive LED doesn't seem to be working on this, even though it should. So I'm going to have to look at the front panel LEDs and figure out what's going on there. Okay, got the front panel figured out. That's kind of a weird layout. I don't know why it's set up the way it is. You might not be able to see it. It's not really doing anything right now, but I do have the hard drive LED. Let me see if I can do something here. Show you that LED working. Let's see here. Where's the LED? Yeah. Here you can see the LED is now working. It was not plugged in, so. But now it should be configured. I can shut this down, get that drive out, get that CD-ROM hooked back up, and hopefully install the proper driver software. Okay, I put the mini CD-ROM that the software comes on into the drive here. Oops, here we go. Run auto run. I would like to do that if it doesn't just crash, which it looks like it did, which is great. I don't really need any of the other garbage, I just want the drivers. So I've got my own program that I can use. I don't know what just happened. If it did anything, oh, here it comes. Alright, yes. Install, please. So we'll see if that'll work. Install it anyway, because I know what it is. $7134. Says it's complete. Okay. Let's see, did it actually install the driver properly, or am I going to be doing that manually? Multimedia controller. Well, there's no unknown devices. Yeah, there it is. Oops, holy crap. So there's the other one. That's a BT878 card, which will not work under anything newer than Windows 7. And I've had bad luck getting it to work under 64-bit. But I suppose there are 64-bit things out there. I might install this TVR just to have it. Okay, so this is done. I didn't realize that was going to install a TSR. which I don't need. I also don't really need that, so maybe I'll pull those out of the startup programs folder. Yeah, I don't need that. Delete that. It's just a shortcut. Don't really care. So, I don't need that to run on startup. Here, by the way, are the Windows Experience Index scores for the machine. So, shut this down. It's pretty much done. And I can work on the other one. Okay, so I'm going to empty this out of stuff right now. Except for the fan. I'm going to leave that in there, because there's no reason not to. But everything else, oh, and the card reader, again, there's no reason not to do that too, but everything else is going to come out of here, cabling-wise. And I'm going to pull the power supply just because, again, I want it out of my way, so. Okay, here's the donor system. I will be taking out this battery and replacing it with the other one. Same deal with this RAM. Hopefully the other RAM is going to work in this. Alright. There is the new board in the case. Plugged in most everything. The only thing that's missing right now is this fan, which I'm about to fix on video. Here we go. There is still some work left to do, but I'm going to wait until after I see this thing work before I start going crazy hooking things up. Okay, moment of truth. Okay. Oh, here we go. We have post. So, got a good start. Let me change that RAM now. Okay, that was an unnecessary pain. Let's see if it works. Nope, of course not. Why would it work, right? Wow. Way too much effort required for that. Way too much. That's ridiculous. Turn on XMP. See if it works now. I hit F10, let's go. Usually it's supposed to turn off. Okay, now it's being stupid again. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I don't understand why it's being so dumb. It just needs to stop. You will do what I want, and you'll enjoy every minute of it. Well, that was a fail. Try to put the other RAM in. Doesn't work. So, I guess whatever went wrong with that motherboard over there also killed my nice set of DDR3 1600 memory modules. Screw that. Okay, after fighting with the pile of garbage for the last probably close to half an hour, I've now got it to a point where it will actually work. Don't know what I've changed, other than absolutely nothing. I've just sworn loudly at it a couple of times, and I guess that's been enough. And I slapped it a couple of times too, and that seems to have been enough. So, I don't know about this, but I'm going to put this together anyway. So, now I get to try and find out. I'm going to have to install a battery, because I pulled the battery out because it wasn't bloody working. So, now I got to put a battery back in that, and then I got to put those cards back in. Okay, that should be in place. Hopefully it's in place enough that it's going to see it. That fan sounds wonderful. Might take it a moment to post, because it's decided that that's what it's going to start doing. Yeah, here we go. So, it's now decided the next other thing that it's going to do, see if it actually does it, is this firmware status recovery error, which I don't know what that's supposed to mean, other than, oh, I'm stupid. Okay, I have changed the video card, as you can clearly see. That is a Zotac GT, what does that say, 1030? Pretty beefy card compared to what was in there, which is sitting right here. This is the old card. Pull the slot cover off of it for the new one. This is a GeForce 310, I believe. But it decided that it wanted to stop working. So it can sit there and feel sorry for itself. Now, question of the day. Do I have all my discs? Or am I going to be fighting with that now, too? There's the SSD there. And the, looks like the 2 drives there. They're both DVD-RWs. So, we should be okay now to try and boot up Windows. I'm going to have to get my Pi out that does my network bridging. Again, it still takes forever to post. But I presume that it will actually post. Here we go. What an ordeal. You're stupid. That's what you are. It's going to boot. Why are you being dumb? Let's go. Boot to Windows. Holy crap. Okay. Windows Experience Index time. Let's see what this gets compared to what the other one got. Telling you what, definitely spring now. The frickin' June bugs are back. Just had one start buzzing all around my head. I was trying to get back inside after grabbing something. So I hit it with the wasp spray. Hope it enjoys that. And yes, before some clever clog points it out in the comments, I am well aware that a June bug is not a wasp, but if it induces hardship and makes it leave me the hell alone, I don't care. This thing, though, you can see, look at how useless these scores are. Everything gets exactly the same score, 7.7, except for the disk, which gets a 7.9. Okay then, Windows. That's very accurate, I guess. Alright. So, on that note, we're pretty much done here. I'm not going to worry about updates. I'm not going to worry about anything else. I'm just going to shut this down, put the cover back on, and close this video. Because I think I've worked on this for long enough. I think it's been several hours between that one and this one. So, it should be good to go. I don't want to deal with any more of this crap anyway.